All right. Sorry. Need to move my phone out of the way completely. Just need to answer something quickly. Unprofessional here. But anyway, hi. Rangers win 3-0 over the Edmonton Oilers in their seventh game of the regular season. What a huge performance from Jonathan Quick, especially. Jonathan Quick, sensational. Sensational in this game. Got a huge shutout win here for the Rangers, and this is what I was preaching when he ended up gathering that win a couple nights ago, or when the Rangers won with him in net against the Seattle Kraken, is that they need to win every single game they possibly could with Jonathan Quick in goal. And they did it. And you know what? It's not even like they played well in front of Jonathan Quick. They definitely didn't help him out. They really did a poor job in front of him, if we're being completely honest. I did not like the defensive effort from the Rangers in this game. I really didn't. I thought there was one pair that was good defensively and like one forward group that was good defensively, but the rest of the team did not cut it. Did not cut it on defense in this game. But they get the 2 points. They get the 2 points, and they take advantage of a Connor McDavid-less Edmonton Oilers. If Connor McDavid plays this game, is it any different? I don't know. Maybe, because that's how big of an impact he makes on a night-to-night basis when he's out there. However, he wasn't there, and the Rangers played with the hand they were dealt with, and they still grabbed the 2 points, even though it wasn't pretty. I keep going back to this. I don't think at all it's going to look pretty in October. I said it before the season started. I said it over the summer. I said it when Laviolette walked through the door. It is not going to be pretty in October. But trust the process. And once this team fully is adapt to Laviolette's system, even as soon as the middle of November, this team could do some serious damage. Just think of it this way. They're sitting here with 5 wins. We're talking a 5-2-0 record. They already won the road trip when we went into this saying they need to win at least 3. Done. Done. Easy. Easy. 3 in a row. Road trip success. They win the 3 with a chance to be even better, take advantage of a Vancouver team that isn't necessarily the best. They're off to a decent start, but you could go into Vancouver, steal a win there maybe. Hopefully you're playing a better game, and you could definitely win. Winnipeg has been up and down out of the gate themselves. That's a game where you could gather a win too. If they could gather one more win on this road trip, I'd be ecstatic. If they gather 2, I'm to the moon. But if they lose the next 2, depending on how they play, that will tell me a lot. But regardless, it's not going to be perfect for a bit. It's not going to be. And the Rangers are still scraping out wins. If I told you going into the season they'd start off 5-2 in their first 7, I think every single Ranger fan co-signs on that, except for the people that expect the team to go 82-0. I think we all sign off otherwise. If we're rational fans here, we all sign off on them starting off 5-2, even though it's not pretty. It can only get better. It really can. But the offense definitely gave a lot more in this game than we've seen over the past few. They disappeared in the third period, which I did not like. However, I thought that they got a lot more scoring chances than they have in the previous games, even though they disappeared in the third period. The third period was really not sharp at all. I didn't think the first period was the best, but I thought, hey, you know what? They limited Edmonton's shots. Granted, Edmonton did miss the net quite a bit. They at least didn't allow them to get too much. But second period, definitely their best period of the night. And then the third period, like I said, I did not like the third period. But let's talk about the game. First period, the refs pissed me off a minute into this game. We'll talk about the refs. They pissed me off a minute into this game. They call an icing about a minute into the game and delayed whistle. Okay, sure. Regardless, so the Rangers in the first 2 minutes of the game looked good. Looked good. It was like, hey, all right. Edmonton, they're not going to give them much. It felt like they were setting a tone. Edmonton's not getting through the neutral zone. The Rangers will pounce when they have the chances, and it's going to be a nice, easy win. Nope. No. After those 2 minutes, it got very ugly. Why? Because Edmonton got 3-on-2. Mika Zibanejad got very lazy on the back check. He disappointed me a lot in this game. After the turnover, Jan Markville missed the net. Again, a lot of guys on Edmonton did not hit the net, which really helped out the Rangers in this game. Lindgren drove to the net on a chance, though. He couldn't bury it. Panarin couldn't get the rebound. Oilers then got a 3-on-1 because Fox had a bad pinch. Hedl thankfully broke that up. I don't know how Phil Hedl ended up being the only guy back there. But yeah, Fogle almost buried one too in that shift, and the defense just looked bad. Lindgren had a nice play on Draisaitl. Draisaitl definitely had a rough day for Edmonton in this game. I can tell you that the Rangers did not make Draisaitl's life easy. There was a lot of times where guys were picking his pocket, which was at least nice to see that they were neutralizing their best player since McDavid is not there, of course. I felt the Rangers, though, I felt they were playing too much East-West, too, at points in the game, especially in the offensive zone. I thought they tried to do way too much East-West, and they tried to force too much there. But regardless, Panarin and Hedl got chances in the high slot, couldn't end up scoring. Wheeler ended up winning a puck battle, resulted in a good shift for that third line, but unfortunately, nothing comes from it. The offense started to generate a little more chances as the period went along. Kakko almost got Kreider at the back door. Lafreniere almost buried one. The defense in the slot thankfully ended up stopping Connor Brown from scoring. Miller had a nice keep in when they were in the offensive zone, but the fourth line couldn't do anything offensively. Color me, I'm shocked. Broberg, terrible turnover by Broberg, and Coley has to capitalize on that. He's got to take his time. He'll learn. He's still new to the game. I'm not too worried, but he needs to bury that opportunity. He needs to take his time, settle down, and get a good scoring chance off of that turnover next time. Like I said, though, Kakko picking Draisaitl's pocket. Kreider does it. Hedl then with a big play in the defensive zone. It felt like the forwards were giving more of an effort on defense in this game versus some of the defensemen. But big play to stop Kane from scoring there from Hedl. Then you had another late whistle from the refs. The Rangers had a good shift, and for whatever reason, they decide like 10 seconds after the matter, yeah, let's call an offsides. I don't know. Let's just do it. We don't feel like putting the headset on if they score here. Ridiculous. The officials ruined this game. The officials ruined this game entirely. It only gets worse from here, though. This was bad, too. Wheeler takes a penalty because he has to hook Ryan Nugent-Hopkins because he would have scored that goal off from Fogle having a nice feed there to Nuge. Keandre Miller. What the fuck was that pinch? Blake Wheeler. Break up the damn pass. Inexcusable. Evander Kane then thankfully negates it because he wasn't thinking. He ends up just whacking Keandre Miller's stick out of his hand. He gets an interference penalty. I don't know what was going through his head, but Evander Kane did a lot of stupid things in this game that I didn't like. But something that concerned me, Mika was looking visibly bad. Visibly bad. He was making way too many no-look passes. One that ended up just dumping it down the ice when the Rangers had the power play there at the end. Come on, man. Come on. You gotta look. You gotta look over your shoulder and realize nobody's at the point there. Lafreniere and Hedl then get a 2-on-1. Lafreniere, nice little pass to Hedl, but Skinner makes a save because why lift the puck, right? Why? Why lift the puck? Why do that? But that's pretty much the end of the first period. Shots were 10-5 in favor of the Rangers. They were cardiac Rangers tonight, that's for sure. They were cardiac Rangers. They definitely played decent enough in that first period, but I felt they were a bit lucky that Edmonton wasn't hitting the net on their chances because the Rangers looked slow in transition. They looked pretty poor in the neutral zone defensively as well. I thought they did a decent job keeping Edmonton to the outside, at least in the defensive zone, but they needed to do a better job. Also, breaking the puck out was definitely a struggle for the Rangers early on in this game in the first period. But second period comes along, and the Rangers thankfully end up getting a huge, much-needed power play as Foegele ends up clipping Lafreniere in the face for a high stick. That ends up being a power play. Skinner stops Mika on a one-timer, but the passing, beautiful, beautiful passing. The cycle going well. Panarin ends up bringing it down low, spacing out the ice. He ends up going low, brings it up to Trocheck in the face-off dot, who passes it across to Fox, and he snipes it home. Not the quickest shot, but snipes it home, gets the job done. 1-0. Beautiful passing by Trocheck and Panarin there. Lafreniere then almost gets a highlight goal. Undresses Broberg. Skinner unfortunately stops him, but imagine Lafreniere scored that goal. That is what we need from Lafreniere on a night-to-night basis. This type of play. The reason I was getting on him so much is because it's not even like he was showing glimpses of this. Like, if he didn't score, I still would have said Lafreniere had a good game tonight. It's things like this that we want to see, where it's like, that's the type of play where it's like, yeah, that's why you went number 1 overall, kid. That's why you were hyped up since you were a 15-year-old boy. Like that. Anyway, Fox then made a nice defensive play to stop Ernie at the doorstep. Again, though, I'm pretty pissed off with the defense. I'm very pissed off with the defense, but we'll talk more about that. Trocheck almost set up Coley for an opportunity, but then this pissed me off. So first, I don't know who to blame. The refs or Trouba on this. So you have a terrible shift, though, regardless, by Jacob Trouba, because there was what could have been an icing that ends up being negated because Trouba was skating so slow. I understand the refs maybe could have called it an icing and he thought he beat him, but you got to make sure, man. You got to make sure. But it ends up being negated. Edmonton almost scores. Then Trouba's almost responsible for Connor Brown getting the rebound chance in front of the net. Thankfully, they don't score. Kreider had a nice clear, but here comes Edmonton the other way. Quick has to make a big save on Foegele. And then, they were pinned in their own end. The first line was horrendous, and it ended up resulting in back-to-back shifts with them where they spent way too much time in their own end, and this was a concern. Mika Zibanejad, in particular, was noticeably bad defensively in this game. Noticeably bad. I don't think that's news to anyone. I think anyone that was watching with their own eyes was able to notice how bad he was tonight in his own end. Even on offense, he didn't really do much, but Wheeler got denied an opportunity in the slot. Quick, nice toe save there as well. Gustafsson ended up being denied on the transition there. I thought the Rangers' transition game, by the way, very, very improved there in the second period, which we'll talk about. Panarin then set up Trouba. He gets denied because it's Jacob Trouba. Second line, though, was cooking. But then, again, odd man rush comes the other way. Keandre Miller has to break it up. But the Rangers would make it 2-0, thankfully, as Barclay Goodrow. I hate him, but thank you for getting over the boards there and keeping this one from being offsides. I still thought it was when Jimmy Vesey, the Kit Kat legend, sends it over to Braden Schneider, and Braden Schneider fires a beauty on goal to make it a 2-0 game. Adam Fox gets the assist as well. Then you have Will Coley get a chance. Hooked, but no, why call anything? Kreider in alone, denied. And then Evander came blatantly, I don't know, you could have called this multiple penalties. Cross-check, boarding, interference, whatever you wanted to call it. Hits Mika Zibanejad, and is anyone shocked that nothing's called? Anyone shocked? Because I'm sure as hell not. Then the puck ends up in the crease. Nah, why blow the whistle? No, that's Why do that? We can't see the puck. Would be goalie interference anyway if Edmonton would put it in because everyone was sitting on Jonathan Quick. But no, let's just keep the play going and then have to break up a fight. I don't understand NHL officials sometimes. I just don't. Panarin then almost scores on a chance after they got in transition. Wheeler hit the post on opportunity. Fox denied on a breakaway. Mika hit the post too. The post getting them. But thankfully, the Rangers would end up make it 3-0 as Braden Schneider, he had a beautiful breakout pass there, sets up Panarin, who stays patient, opens up the ice, finds Lafreniere. Lafreniere buries it. Panarin is making a difference. He's opening the ice. This is what you get for $11.6 million. That's what you want. But that was the second period. Shots were 18-13 in favor of the Rangers. Again, cardiac Rangers because the defensive effort was just non-existent in this game. But the transition game, better. The second line, great. First line, not good. The defense, not good. But Edmonton got booed off their ice there. It wasn't the first time, though, in the game. They got booed off by the end of this game. Third period comes rolling along. Miller had some nice defensive plays to start, but then he follows that up by making a bad play because Brown got a chance right in front of the net. Because for whatever reason, Keandre Miller sees Jacob Trouba along the boards and decides, the puck's behind the net. There will be a guy wide open in the slot, which would be the high danger chance if I go chase the guy behind the net. I'll go chase him anyway. That's what he decided to do. Bonino tried to make a last-second effort, but anyway, Quick made the save, thankfully. Bouchard got too good of a luck. That got denied. Wheeler fired completely wide on a chance alone, which was just laughable. You just hear the boards. Doesn't even come close. I don't understand how that happens, but regardless, Ekholm goes off for an interference penalty. Panarin took way too long on a shooting chance from Mika. Mika just firing shots at the goalie's chest, at Skinner's chest. Quick, though, ended up bailing out Lindgren and Fox after the power play as Hyman got a chance alone denied. Then Blake Wheeler would make his best play as a Ranger as he sets up Will Coley, and it deflects in 4-0. Nope. We're going to actually review that one that might have been kicked in. Hey, remember when it was February 6th of 2023 and Andrew Mangiapane tied the game up at 3 in Madison Square Garden? I believe it was in the second period. Might have been the third. Regardless, remember that one where he tied the game up at 3 and he clearly kicked the puck in, but they decided that no, it was not a distinct kicking motion. If you want to see the video yourself, I tweeted it. Go follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description. But yeah, he kicks it in, and that's a goal. Will Coley, facing the other way of the net, has literally no way because he's tied up with the defender of kicking it in. It deflects off his skate. Couldn't be any more clear. And they say, no goal. I understand the Rangers won this game. I do. And I shouldn't be complaining and this mad about it. But my problem is that this is a problem league-wide. And it's a problem for future games. Because why is it that there is no definitive black and white with this rule? Why? It should either be at this point, because if we're going to just make it this gray, either make it that if it goes off of a skate, it counts or it doesn't count. Or if the majority or the full skate is off the ice or the foot moves, call it no goal. But if, meaning the foot clearly shows an elevation in any regard, no goal. But if the skate stays on the ice, you call it a goal. Something like that. Just clear it up so we have some sort of clear definition of what a kicking motion is and what it's not. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. I'm just I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed with the officiating. I truly am. I really do not care if anyone calls me a whiner, if anyone calls me a baby for complaining about this. But it's just the problem is that I can't let the officials off the hook when we need the right calls being made on the ice. We need the right calls being made on the ice, and who knows if this affects them in a future game. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If anyone disagrees, you have your own opinion. But to me, I just don't like that the officials, because if that was because let's say the game was tied and that was the difference in the game, every single person, every single one of you in the chat right now is complaining about this play. I just want to put it in that perspective, but I will move on because the Rangers won this game. Wheeler goes off for a hooking penalty. Thankfully, that got killed, but Jonathan Quick stood on his head, and the Rangers hold on to win this game. Shots were 11-4 in the third period in favor of Edmonton. Shots in the game 32-29 in favor of the Rangers. The Rangers blocked 16 shots, so they definitely did their job in the slot, stopping Edmonton from scoring. The only thing, like I said, that I really did not like in this game from the Rangers is how much they let Edmonton get through the neutral zone, how much time in the offensive zone Edmonton spent. That's my only issue. I love the offense, though. Because what has been my complaint with this team thus far is the offense not generating much. I can't talk. A much. The offense not generating much. But they generated a lot in this game. Not in the third period, but they generated a lot for the most part. Even the first two periods, they generated way more than we've seen over the past few. So that's my biggest takeaway and my biggest positive. But all it takes now, let's gel it together. Let's get the good defense and the good offense gelled together. We got to find the happy medium here. But again, if I tell you the Rangers start 5-2, we're all signing off on this because this should be the worst hockey they play, and they're still finding ways to win games. It's only going to be better. They're only going to get up as they adjust to Laviolette's system. And I'm sure Laviolette was definitely wanted more from the defense too. So they'll clean it up. I'm not worried because if this was Gerard Gallant, I'd be worried. But we have a coach that actually understands the game and knows what goes on in depth with a hockey game to know that the defensive effort needed to be cleaned up. I'll say that. Because defensively, Braden Schneider and Eric Gustafsson, though, definitely the best pair out there for the Rangers tonight. Analytics back it up. Eye test back it up. Definitely the best pair from the Rangers was Gustafsson and Schneider. Gustafsson, I thought was very good. And then Braden Schneider, too. I've been hard on him, but I'm very pleased with the effort. He's another one where it's like, just give it consistently. And we're on our way there. The French toast line, as everyone's calling them, though, that second line, it's seriously one of the best in the game. Is it not? Panarin, Hito, Lafreniere. The way that they changed the game, especially Panarin. Panarin is showing he's a game changer. I'm loving what we're seeing from Artemi Panarin. So far. So he's another one where let's see it build, because this looks more like the Panarin from year one with the Rangers, and that's the Panarin we need if this team wants a chance at any sort of success. The third line, too, I thought was very good. Thought the third line was actually very good. Loved Trocheck's game. Loved Cooley's game. Wheeler had his best game of the as a Ranger thus far. I would love it if he could not be behind plays, especially on offense. I thought defensively he was okay. But Blake Wheeler, Had his best game as a Ranger, I'll say that, but we still need more. Then you get to more of the okay of the game. I guess Miller and Trouba would be filed under the they were okay category of this one. More so Miller, because I thought Trouba, there was like that one shift. I mean, that one shift by Trouba was just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It left a sour taste in my mouth. I know Edmonton didn't score, but it left a sour taste in my mouth that Jonathan Quick had to come up big there. And you know what? He did. He did. So, and there's going to be games like this. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom here. I'm at the same time saying, hey, we're 5-2. They're only going to get better. But I will say that there are going to be games to also stay positive. There's going to be games where your goalie's going to have to bail you out. It's going to happen. And you know what? Jonathan Quick definitely was that guy. But the fourth line, the fourth line, I don't know what they could do with the fourth line. I don't know, because Jimmy Vesey's clearly the best on that fourth line. I don't think there's any argument there. But who do you sit if you wanted to put Pitlick in? Because I don't think Goudreau's sitting with the cap hit he's at. Nick Bonino's too valuable in the faceoff dot. It's like, what do you do? Like, but the fourth line's just not cutting it right now. Like, they're spending way too much time in their own end. I want to see what their Corsi was in this game. Couldn't have been great. Yeah, 28%. 28.57%. That just shows you that the fourth line did not have a good effort, but the first line did not either. They had a 38.10. Yikes. 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 The first line is definitely going to need to get going a bit, though, at some point, because Mika Zibanejad cannot be goalless for much longer. I know he hit the post. I know he had chances. That's the one thing I could hang my hat on, is Mika Zibanejad at least had some better chances this game than we've seen in previous games from him. But at some point, these guys need to break through 5-on-5, because the second line can't be the only ones doing it, because at some point teams are going to be smart and just deploy their shutdown lines, especially if they have good ones against the second line. Then your offense is taken out of the game if your other lines aren't producing. So yeah, just the nitpick there. But regardless, you're 5-2. You're not playing your best hockey. We'll see how it we'll see if it improves. But let's get to the chat, see what you guys have to say. I rambled for too long. I apologize. And I apologize if anyone's annoyed with my ref rant there. It just, my problem is that I just want this team to find their happy medium here between good defense and good offense. That's really all it boils down to. And yeah. And then when it comes to the officiating, that's what I was talking about. I wasn't even talking about that. Shame on me to get lost there. But when it comes to the officiating, I just want it to be, I just want better officiating for the sport. It's really all it comes down to. Because like I said, who knows if that was a game-defining moment, we're all sitting here pissed off and blaming the refs. Ryan, what's going on? Glad I was wrong about Quick. He's looking pretty solid in the net. I'm not going to say that I'm all sold on Jonathan Quick. He looks solid right now. But, hey, let's not forget. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, because that's just how I do this thing. That's how I like to view everything from both perspectives. On one hand, it's nice that we're getting great starts from him early, and hopefully Benny found some magic there. But to play devil's advocate, if you want to here, Halak started the season off slow and then went on fire. Who's to say that Quick won't have it be the opposite? Hopefully not, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Yeah, the refs were atrocious, Nick. They were. I'm glad somebody agrees with me. At least one person. Believe in Benny, yeah. Used to pray for time like this. Lucky McDavid wasn't there. Too many defensive breakdowns. Nick, you and I are on the same page. That could have got ugly. Could have. Or if they even hit the net a few times, it could have got ugly. But Jonathan Quick at the same time definitely stood up to the test. Lewis, like I said, we gotta be patient because I know people. We all do this. We all do this. We're all victims of this. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word victim there. We're all victims of this. We're all so quick to be like, this is the best thing we've ever seen. We were so wrong about this, but we got to see consistency. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to make it seem like I'm negative to people, but at the same time, I want to see consistency, and I need a bit. This is just for how I operate personally. I like a bigger sample size before I go too crazy with the takes. Granted, I've had bold takes before. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh yeah, I'm perfect with my takes. I know everything, and I taught everything that I say is right. This is just coming at it from my perspective. That's just all. Not a perfect performance tonight, but a win, but a good win defensively. We have a lot to be better. Way too sloppy and gave up a lot of high danger chances. Credit to Quick, he played very well. Yeah, Matt, you and I are on the same page there. That the defensive effort was just it left a lot to be desired. Did Kreider play? Yeah, Kreider had like two noticeable moments, one on offense, one on defense, and that was it. Quick came up strong again. Yep. Brett has a point in every game. Hopefully that continues. He's making a difference. Like, that's what a superstar does in this league. They're getting points night in and night out. I'm not saying he's going to do it every night, but they're getting points majority of the nights, and they're making a difference on the majority of nights. Need Mika and Phil to score. Couldn't agree more. Philip Hedl, if he could get going scoring, this team's in a very good spot. And especially Mika Zibanejad, because that opens up that first line. And then that changes the whole dynamic of this offense. 100%. And yeah, if Hedl could finish some of Lafreniere's passes, Lafreniere could be a point per game player right now if Hedl started bearing some of those chances easily. Didn't like our neutral zone play in the first, but in the second we were better. We played a much faster, and our passes were a lot crisper. Definitely liked our offensive game, especially from that second line. Couldn't agree more, Matt. Yeah, the passing definitely was brutal at points. I mean, I gave my thoughts on the Coley goal being called off. I went on a big tangent. Garbage call, yeah. The first line has to start playing a lot better at 5v5, not creating anything, and that line got stuck in our zone way too much. Mika and Kreider are ghosting way too much. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. And the problem is that's not like they could even try really anything new with that line, because it's like Blake Wheeler's not playing well, and Kakko's arguably the best guy 5v5 on that line, so it's not like you move him down. Mika's glued into that 1C spot. The furthest you'd move him down is to the 2C. And then Kreider's the only option to move down. But what are you going to do? Throw Will Coley up there on the first line, or throw because you can't break up that second line with the way it's playing. You're not breaking up my French toast line right now, at least. But regardless, at least with how they're playing now. But regardless, yeah, you're not going to put Coley there, VC. Let's not do that whole thing again. Let's not. But this is why we said going into the year we wanted Mika and Kreider split up. And, well, here we are. Yeah, Laffy's looking great so far. Yeah, the ref's bad. Quick proving people wrong so far, yeah. I love Mika, but he hasn't been himself lately. I agree, Nisa. I love Mika Zibanejad too. And I think that like, this is the problem with Zibanejad that dates back to forever now that Mika Zibanejad will have these very cold stretches, and then when he's on his hot stretches, there's no stopping this man, especially on the power play. He's scoring hat tricks. He's scoring 5 goals against Washington, right? He's looking like the best player, one of the best players and one of the best centers in the NHL. But then these cold stretches, it's like, okay, is he like, this is where it's like, okay, as a number one center, we need you to be engaged from game 1 to 82, like some of the top centers are in this league. I'm not claiming he's on the McDavid, Matthews level like that, but I'd like him to be in that second tier. Like, to me, he's at the end or close to that he's at the back end of the second tier, or he's close to the second tier of like the Ahos and guys like that, where it's like they put up all the points, and they're there night in and night out, like giving an effort on both sides of the puck. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm bitter about the Coley goal not counting either. I'm bitter about it too, as you can tell. Be positive. I've been, I don't know how much more positive I could be. I'm not being negative, really. I'm just looking at it I'm just analyzing the game the way I saw it. That's all I'm doing. It's how I do it. It's how I roll. It's how I roll. Fourth line needs an upgrade. Bring in Johnny Brzezinski. Brzezinski could be a temporary solution, but I feel that this team definitely needs some sort of shot in the arm on that fourth line. Like, that's the one thing that I'll say also, is that at least the Rangers are in a spot where, the fourth line, targeting fourth liners at the deadline is really not the end all be all. Like, they got Tyler Mott for a 4th round pick, and they got him 2 years in a row. But what made that Mott, that line when Mott was there, Goudreau, and then I think Rooney was down there on the fourth liner. Am I forgetting someone else? But regardless, like, those 3 on the fourth line, what made it special? They were chipping in for goals, and they were giving a good effort on the defensive side. Like, this is where I miss Tyler Mott, man. I miss him. I know people think I overrate the guy, but like, I'm not saying he would have made that big of a difference, because I don't love Barclay Goudreau in particular, but I think that, Tyler Mott would definitely help this fourth line a lot more than Barclay Goudreau. I don't think that's a secret. Granted, he's hurt right now, but it is what it is. I'm voice cracking a lot here. My voice is shot. It's looking like Zibanejad needs Kreider more than Kreider needs Zibanejad. Interesting take. I'm almost in agreement on that too. Because when Kreider's there to deflect pucks in for Zibanejad, it obviously helps Zibanejad's stats. The screens help Zibanejad score more goals. I could see it. Yeah, I thought Quick was going to be Cheeks too, but you know what? You get a shutout. Exactly, Matt. Like, it's not being negative. It was a good win, and it's nice to be 5-2, like I keep mentioning, and I'll keep harping on it. You're 5-2, not playing your best hockey. There only should be up from here, and that's a scary thought if you're a fan of another team in the NHL. But for right now, I'm just analyzing the game the way I saw it, and if you're satisfied with the defensive effort in this game, then hey, to each their own. I just tell me what you saw that was good defensively. I did not have a quick shutout on my bingo card. Neither did I, freak. The refs took so long to blow that whistle when there was a scramble. Yeah, it just made no sense. The officiating was just... God, it's annoying. Take Kreider off that first line. He's a power play merchant. That's what I was saying going into the year, that I wanted him lower because he's not really the best 5-on-5 guy. But at the same time, again, like, what do you do unless Kakko's comfortable playing the wing and Patrick Kane comes back and then you have a first line of Kako on the left, Mika in the middle, and then Kane on the right. Or you're off if Othman could get ready quickly, you get Othman to play that left side, and then you have uh Zibanejad with Kako. But I don't know how I feel about that either. Like it's a tough situation, but I think I truly believe deep down that if it's not going to be Kane, Othman's not ready. I think that's your answer right there. That the Rangers gotta get a guy for that first line, at least with how we sit today, because obviously things could change. We're 7 games in. I'm not going to look that far ahead. I'm not going to be irrational like that and say they definitely need to go out and get that guy. Um, but regardless, from the early looks, if this doesn't improve, then yes, then we'll have to start having those conversations. But for right now, I'm just gonna hope that they can improve their 5v5 play. That's all. Another solid game from Trocheck tonight. This 3C role is fitting him like a glove. Yes. And that's something that you and I harped on, that everybody harped on, that he fits the 3C role so much better than being a 2C, because him and Panarin just didn't really play well together. Right? They didn't have that dynamic. They didn't fit. And then we said it so much. We screamed it. We screamed for so long about it. Just get Hedel playing with Panarin. And then whether it's Kakko, whether it's Lafreniere, get somebody there and have those three together, and it will do wonders. And look at what the result is right now, at least. Because they'll cool down at some point. That's the unfortunate part of this game over an 82-game season. But for right now, I mean, come on. First line is calling the D zone a lot. Yep, Sean. Yep. Best effort since opening night. 3 wins on the road. Enjoy the good times. I don't know if I'd say this was the best effort since opening night. I thought the Seattle win was better. I thought, if anything, I would argue that this was the Rangers' least complete game, and like in terms of wins, because obviously the Nashville game was their worst. I don't think it's even close. But I would say this. I like the Seattle game, and I liked the Calgary game. From an offensive standpoint, I would agree that this game was better than the Arizona game. But defensively, I like the Arizona game. I like the Arizona game more because John Quick really almost after the start the Rangers had last season, and after that game where Edmonton came back, remember that one? 3-0. Draisaitl knocks Trouba's stick out of his hand. After that, no, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I'd feel bad. I feel bad for McDavid. Feel bad for McDavid, even though he wasn't playing. I feel bad for him. But the rest of them, especially Draisaitl and Evander Kane, nah, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. Um, yeah, I was pissed about the Coley goal taken away, just like everyone else. Not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a far more structured game. I don't know if I'd say it was structured, but unless you're talking offensive zone play, the offensive zone play, like I keep saying, definitely better than we've seen in a lot of efforts thus far. But the defensive zone play was just the structure wasn't there, mainly in the neutral zone. Like the neutral zone's really where I have my biggest gripe with their defensive play. Their defensive play in the neutral zone, I thought they left it too wide open and let too many odd man rushes up. You know, uh, to each their own. Dylan, if you think this is negativity, then I'm sorry, and you could click off the video. And I appreciate that you love my videos, but I'm just analyzing it the way I saw the game, which is how I do it, which is how I roll. I've been doing this for years now. This is how I operate. That Even when they win, I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, pop bottles and sit here and be like, "Oh, they won, so that means they played great." There's times where they don't necessarily play the greatest, but find ways to win, which again, you don't complain, you take the 2 points, you run. However, you also could say they need to clean up their game in certain areas, which is how I'm going about this. And my negativity, if you want to say negativity though, negativity towards the refs all day. I don't care if that's a problem that I'm being negative about the refs, so be it. So be it. I'm spitting my mind about that, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I do not care because the officials sucked. They sucked. Regardless if they won or not, they sucked. It's not that the league doesn't know their own rules, it's just they don't create black and white rules. Everything's just so gray with the rules. That's the issue here, Nick. I'm not hyper focusing on the negatives. Like I said, if you were there in the opening, even the past few minutes, if anyone thinks I'm being strictly negative and I'm strictly focusing on the bad, um, then that's just simply not the case. Especially in the open, I highlighted. I was very positive in the open. Do we win this game if we play against a better team? No, but I have confidence in Laviolette to get some teaching moments out of this team, out of this game for the boys. This is the point that I'm trying to make when I'm criticizing this team, freak. And thank you. That's the way that it should be put. I'm not saying that the sky is falling, and I'm not being negative saying that this team sucks. All I'm saying is that I'm being critical in the areas that they need to address and clean up. And like I said, if there's anyone I trust Laviolette to fix it, and they will be fine. I am not worried. I am not worried one bit as of right now, at least as of now. As of October 27th at about 1 in the morning, I am currently not worried. Will I be worried if it results in losses and it snowballs? Yes. But as of right now, I am not worried because I trust Peter Laviolette. I have not made that abundantly clear. I'm the biggest Laviolette guy there is. The biggest Laviolette guy there is. Um, yeah, that's what I thought, Logan. Or that's what you would think. Like that would be a logical thing, Logan. Like that's the problem here. We're using our brains too much. I think that's the issue, Logan. We're thinking of what the rule should be versus what the NHL, wants it to be, which is, well, you decide. I don't know what the NHL wants it to be, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the fourth line's definitely a concern. French toast line is actually a top three in the league so far in my mind. I want to see if I could get some of the money puck stuff. I really want to. Here, you guys want positivity? I'll harp on this. I'll harp on this all night long if you guys want me to about the French toast line here. Let's see if I can get some of their stats here. Surprisingly, the first line is actually ranked in expected goals, which I'm a little curious of how that's the case. They didn't update it after this game, so I'm sure things will go up for the better, but still 55.4 expected goals for 3.6. So they do lead in expected goals for, like actual expected goals for. Even expected goals against 2.9 right now. Expected goals for per 60 minutes 3.32. Their Corsi in this game, if you want the Corsi, 59.26%. That means that they spent more time in the offensive zone than didn't. Almost an expected goals for at 1, which means that they were the best line for the Rangers. They had 4 high danger chances for in this game as well. They did very, very good. Very, very good. Very, very pleased with the French toast line. Let's see what's happening. What's happening in the chat? Trying to catch up a bit. Yeah, Lafreniere is robbed right now. Could I explain the Pinto situation? I mean, it doesn't really impact much for the Rangers, but I'll do a brief summary. Supposedly, from what I read, he was gambling on not hockey but other sports, so they suspended him. But his suspension for whatever reason kicks in from Ottawa's first game versus his actual first game, even though he's unsigned, which is a little bizarre. But yeah, the deserve the win meter was not in the Rangers' favor. It was 61-39 in favor of the Oilers. Ugh. Wow. 3.39 goals saved above expected for Jonathan Quick. I gotta tip my cap to Quick. I gotta. Yeah, Vancouver will definitely be more of a challenge since they're playing better, because Edmonton's not playing their best. McDavid's hurt. Calgary wasn't necessarily playing their best. Seattle wasn't necessarily playing their best. So, but you know what? Again, there's another thing that I'll say, that in years past, the Rangers are definitely not taking care of business and taking advantage of these opportunities. Like, I'm telling you right now, if Gerard Gallant was coaching this team, the Rangers will lose this game tonight. They do. No matter how much Jonathan Quick stood on his head, they lose this game because the defense would have been even worse. And they just don't take advantage. Gerard Gallant teams never took advantage of opportunities like this where Edmonton doesn't have their best player and you win the game. That just did not happen. That was not a thing. Check what Laviolette said. I will do that before I wrap this up because it is getting late. Let's see. Lavi on the French toast line. When they're moving, they're really dangerous. I think they read off of each other well. I think there's a good mix of different types of players in there. They were on point tonight. They had a really strong game. And then he was asked, was it Blake Wheeler's best game? Laviolette said, yeah, it was. He was really noticeable all night, moving his feet. He could have had 2 goals or 3. I could agree. I'd like to see, more in-depth comments here about how he thought the defense played and everything. But regardless, it is what it is. Last time they swept Alberta was 2015. Oh my God. Just remember what happened in 2015, by the way, everybody. Just remember. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I've been going for longer than I expected. I appreciate 40 of you guys sticking through, pretty much at 40 the whole way through for about an hour here. I really love all of you guys. I really do appreciate all of you guys. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out of the show. It would mean a lot. Please share it as well. That would mean a lot as well. Let's grow this thing. Get the channel popping. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. 2 more points. Sitting in first. Let's go get a win in Vancouver. Turn your notifications on for the next one. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Let's go, Rangers.